What's going on, everyone? Kelly Cavalier here, one half of 7 Era Media, and welcome to today's edition of the Honky Tonk Highway. And as I change it, episode 98. That's right, just two more, and we hit the 100. Hope everyone has had a great Wednesday. Getting closer to the weekend, getting closer to my birthday, and getting closer to the 100th episode and a little party action. Going to Disney all weekend. It's going to be great. Real quick, before we get to our guest, guys, don't forget, head over, like, follow, share, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. That way you don't miss anything that's going to happen. We posted more walkthroughs today. I'm going to be posting more videos. Got tons of exciting stuff. Head over, subscribe to YouTube, follow on Instagram. You're not going to miss it. Also, in case you missed it yesterday, every Tuesday, Honky Tonk Highway hits the radio waves. That's right. Honky Tonk Highway is on Line Dance Radio every Tuesday, 2 to 4 UK time. 9 to 11 here on the East Coast of the U.S. Make sure you tune in. Also, if you don't have time to listen, download it. Spotify, or I'm sorry, you don't have time to watch. We turn it into a podcast. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, download it. You can hit there and listen all you want. Also, buy your pass. crystalbootawards.com. Click the link. 4 days. It's only 25 pounds. You saw the video posted that Betty posted of the little teaser of the dedicated DJs. Cannot wait. You're going to have a great tons of workshops, tons of cabaret demos, tons of talking with people, and not to mention the awards. Only way you get to turn around and vote for two of them. The Wild Card, which is getting released this weekend by Dave and Betty on the Line Dance Radio, and then Dance of the Year. You have to be there to vote. Head over, get your pass now. So, today's show. This guy happens to be in that video that I did the sneak peek of and Betty shared of dedicated DJs for the Crystal Boot. He teaches on Streamline. He's on Line Dance Radio. Guys, what can I say? You're going to have a hoot right now. Mr. Glitter himself, Michael Lynn. What's going on, bro?
Hi, Kelly. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Hey, I was tempted just to get like glitter cannons, but I'm not cleaning that up.
Well, that's all right. You can glitter cannon your end. Just don't glitter cannon my end.
You could have just worn the shirt you wore for New Year's. That would have sparkled enough.
Yeah, that would have done. Yeah. Do you know that came with a sparkle repair kit?
What?
It literally had a little pocket of squares to stick on and repair any that fell off. It was very cool.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So for those who don't know you out there, which we're joined by lots of people who do, lots of people who might not, why don't you tell everybody how you got into line dance?
I wanted to be a professional dancer when I was young, and my parents kind of felt that they would direct me in a different direction. My dad was quite a high rank in the army, and so they pushed me towards gymnastics and tap and other things. Then when I kind of wanted to choose what I wanted to educate myself with, I went into a musical direction because I played clarinet and saxophone. And when I went back to uni and started doing my degree, I thought, well, this is an opportunity to get back in dance. So I ended up kind of doing Latin and ballroom, competing. And then the first time I ever saw line dance was in one of the interval breaks when all the judges were marking the scores of the competition. And we learned Midnight Waltz.
Oh, okay.
And that was the first time. And then I didn't ever revisit line dance for about 10 years. And then by about 2005, I'd stopped competing in Latin and ballroom and thought this is getting really expensive because back then I was very thin and all my outfits had to be sewn and made for me. And so I then got chatting to a friend online and he said, I do a class. Would you like to join? And then I did. And that was it, really.
Yeah, I can contest to how expensive Latin and ballroom is because I used to compete in country western and I taught in a ballroom studio. I know all about that pricing. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That gets expensive. JP Moss just commented, it goes, oh, I love how Michael Lynn got a crystal boot behind him, and Kelly's got the llama from Fortnite, so we both got our statues sitting behind us. That's funny. That is a good one, JP.
Only yours for 1995.
Speaking of Crystal Boots, you are nominated dedicated DJ. Huge congrats there. Guys,
Thank
if you
you.
don't listen to any of Michael's shows, absolutely incredible. He's been doing so much throughout the lockdown, taking over on top of his other 2 shows. He's done lots of extra shows, him and Nick have. And then he just took over the Streamline show for Dave Morgan on Saturdays a couple months ago. So he's been doing that. How you liking doing all the radio stuff during this lockdown?
I moved back home in August because I was unfortunately made redundant due to a downturn in business. And so I was at home, and when you've had so much structure in your life for such a long time, to suddenly go to having none, it was really difficult for me. So I wanted to try and use that time constructively. So I already had my 2 shows, which kind of were midweek, Wednesday, and then Sunday at the end of the week. So then it just felt natural to try and fill things around that to kind of give me purpose, really, because there's only so much job searching you can do. And I was already teaching on Streamline, and I thought, right, well, okay, why not support them? And it helps me as well, because I do the schedule as well for them. So by kind of beasting them and kind of trying to threaten them to get their tracks and music to me, sometimes I would probably get quite a few grey hairs out of trying to chase them.
I can imagine.
And you've got like 70 plus people that are potentially quite divas at different levels, so you can imagine it can be quite entertaining.
oh yeah, I've seen some of the messages in the group messages. Oh yeah, it gets entertaining for sure. Now I remember a post that you made right before Christmas. How many dances have you taught online since this pandemic started now? Because it was pretty high.
It was 58. Yeah, I was 2 away from 60.
Oh, crazy.
Because I continued when Streamline closed for both summer holidays. So I continued still doing it on my walls at my exact same slots because it was part of my routine.
Right. Makes sense.
And I just missed dancing. So kind of because, we all have missed it. And
right.
What little exercise I can get.
Yeah, tell me about it. We get to go because we're open over here. So
yeah,
when Trevor teaches, we go go up on Saturdays or go here and there. That way we can get some dancing in still. So it's nice.
Michael is becoming a legend. Thank you, Jonathan Sack. I'm not that old.
Because it was weird. Because when we lived before we moved, my teaching space I had in our old place was massive. Even though it was carpeted, it was a huge area once we took everything out. So I had a huge space to teach. It's great. A couple times I've taught here. It's a little bit smaller. I make it work, but both are on carpet. So it's like, do I really want to move everything out of the way? That's kind of why
it's hard work.
Kind of why I'm glad I do a talk show. I get to sit. It's great. Nice comfy chair. Just works.
At the height of when I first started Streamline, there was a running joke that because every teach I did was in a different space every time, and because I was managing across 2 different hotel sites, they had numerous conference rooms, some with glorious gyms and floor-to-ceiling mirrors, and everyone's like, how many rooms does this guy have? So it became quite a running joke where I was going to end up each week.
Yeah. Ida just said only open in Florida, the rest of USA is closed. That's not completely true. I know of plenty of places in California that are dancing. I've seen people, plenty of show out in Brandon Iron and Stoney's. A bunch of my friends out in Cali, cat painter and stuff, are doing classes still. So there's some out there. And Britt just said Texas is pretty open. There's plenty of places in Texas you can go. You just got to find them, and every place has been different. I know because I remember the UK did open there for a little bit, for a hot minute, and y'all got to do some classes back. I knew Dave did a little one-day workshop, and then it just kind of disappeared again. And then y'all got to open a little bit again, and then it did it again.
Yeah, we had about 4 weeks, then a break, and then we had 3 weeks where it came back, and then we were like, no, we're closed now.
They're closed again. I thought for sure it wasn't going to close a second time, and then they did it. I'm like, oh. So, but hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. I've seen more places open up. More places start opening up. That has been a little bit different. So
yeah,
I saw Madison Glover posted today. She posted a nice huge picture. They got to open up her barn again today, her and her dad, and they had a huge class. And I got to call into Allison Johnstone's. Her one in Perth is still massive.
I know, it's huge.
Her class is massive, and her place is just amazing. I was like, ugh. So,
Thank you, Vanda.
with all the stuff you've been doing between Streamline, what are you doing non-dance related during all this lockdown? besides eat, because I saw your spread that you had on TV for New Year's, and I really thought you were feeding all of Milton Keynes for a hot minute.
That's pretty normal. That's kind of size of spread, because it's the same when we have our Eurovision party. It's just like there's enough to feed the whole of the attendees at Eurovision. But other than kind of dance, really, during lockdown I've learned to cook. I used to be what we'd call in England a microwave technician. That's microwave to you. And
I was like,
yeah, I just saw your confused face. And I kind of have learned to cook from scratch. So that's been quite a useful skill to learn. And my other thing that I've still managed to do through the whole entire lockdown is attend choir rehearsals. I'm part of a male voice choir.
Awesome. Funny thing is, I've been to Milton Keynes many a time, so I know roughly the size of it, because I'll come over and we'll visit Jonathan Sack. So I'm coming to your house to eat next time too. Big party. This is never good when Paul Linda James starts off saying,
dear.
I have a very important question.
Microwave. He just said
Tim, you like that term, right? Microwave. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually I stole that from Nigella.
I'm kind of curious. I'm waiting. Paul usually types pretty fast. I'm kind of scared of what his question is going to be.
He's got. I have a very important question.
It's either going to have to do with an outfit you worn.
Oh dear. Oh, what is your favorite song from the New Steps album?
Oh, that is a good one. That he does like to talk about his group Steps.
Oh, it's either Heartbreak. I can't remember the names. They're on my phone. Give us a second. I've got to look. I know which ones they are. The album is very good. I like Hand on Your Heart. That sounds very much like Born to Make You Happy by Britney Spears. So I quite like that one. But I think, where is it? Here. Yeah, Heartbreak in This City is my favorite.
There you go. Vanda just asked, Michael, have you got an all-time favorite dance that moved your soul?
Let me think. There's too many. It's really difficult to say that. I think I've got because I kind of like, there's two facets to me. I like my smooth dances immensely, and then I equally like my funky side. So kind of, Nick, you'll be able to help with that, because I sent him an email of recently of all my ones. I thought, I think that was by WhatsApp. But I think definitely inside the top three is definitely Taking Care of You by Rhea Voss. I love Rolling Counts. And what's the other one? Take Me to the Water by Roy and Fiona. Absolutely. If I can get anything that's lyrical and I can kind of do lots of spins and lines with it, absolutely gorgeous. And then probably my Whiskey Chaser by Peter and Alison, another Rolling Count.
She says, could it be a nightclub? ? Probably.
It could be. It could be, yeah.
For those who don't know, back in 2019, Michael did win. It was the newcomer country category, was it not, at WDM?
Yes, it was. That was beginner country for a beginner dance called Shallow End. Yep.
I remember you lost in the finals to Leeson. She ended up getting the trip.
Yes.
I remember your position fondly, because 2 years before that, I was in the same position as you. I won the beginner country and then lost to Gemma Redard in the finals for the trip. So I felt your pain there.
Do you know what? It was a complete blur that day, because I entered every level.
And it was a long day. It was a long session.
It was a long day. But I kind of dismissed that dance as in it's just a beginner dance and that's the weakest of my entries. And it actually turned out to be the strongest of my entries and the one that's kind of had most legs. So I had an important lesson from that experience. Kind of like, don't dismiss the dances really at all levels.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a long day. There was a lot of entries. That day.
I know.
remember live because we had the live feed going and we were just shooting video, and I'm like, is it ever going to end?
Yeah, and
It was a long.
it was a long day, and I had that very proud moment of kind of the joint choreography with Nick when we were both, he was doing Diva to Diva together, and even though we kind of went wrong, we styled it out, and the whole room was clapping and cheering and with us to kind of jeer us to get back into it. And it was just, and he just carried on, brushed it off, and just got on with it. And it was quite an experience for us. And we haven't actually looked back at that video until about 2 months ago and was like, actually, it wasn't that bad. But when you're on that stage in front of all those professionals, You're like, it's the end of your world. You're like, oh my days.
Yeah, I just had one of those moments in the USLDCC finals. I got to I had 3 dances in one division. I got to the third thing and I messed up, but I got right back on, and I came off. I was upset. Got done. One of the judges came up to me afterwards and goes, "What's wrong? You just seem very aggravated." I go, "Screw it." He goes, "You did?" The judge didn't even recognize. So I was like, "Whew, okay, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought." Paul says, "Okay, now I have a proper brainy thinky question."
Okay.
That
I wonder what that one's going to be.
That's that could even be worse. Ooh, I don't know what this means, so you're gonna have to explain it to me. If you could room 101 a song, not necessarily the dance, but the song it's danced to, what would it be? What's room 101 mean?
Room 101 was a TV show where celebrities would put things on a conveyor belt that they would want to be locked away forever and kept. So they could. It's like a desert island type thing, I believe. It's not the way you want to get rid of it, is it? I'm pretty sure it's. Is it the one where you want to get rid of it? It's like, no. Room 101 is the one where you want to get rid of them. So you put them on the conveyor belt to get rid of it.
Huh. Okay.
So I don't know. So for me, I'm very diverse on my musical taste. I have very highbrow tastes where I like a lot of classical and things like that, and opera, but I have very lowbrow taste where I like cheesy pop. I have one for Room 101, but I'm too diplomatic to say, says Vanda. But I think
Vanda's obviously never been on my show.
I would probably put Liam Gallagher in it from Oasis because I can't stand him. He just makes me so angry how arrogant he is. And every time I see him, I just want to, get my studded handbag and wallop him with it. I think song-wise, because he says, what sort of song would you want to put in there? I think, I don't know. There was one. It was, that's it. Wet, 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 Love Is All Around. Can't stand it. It was overplayed so much in the UK. The one from Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Yep.
Feeling in my fingers.
Yep.
Feeling in my toes. I would want to get that song disappeared forever. Can't stand it. Makes me angry. I just want to smash things.
Okay. Now that I get the idea, I have one I would gladly get rid of.
And what would yours be?
Memphis Women and Fried Chicken.
Okay.
Guyton had a dance called Sexy Stir Fry. With he choreographed he choreographed it with Chris Spicer, and the dance was popular. But it was also a popular song on the radio. And back when he released it, I still competed in country western. And back then in the UCWDC, they used the same song for every division. So when you went out for warm ups, if they played a song for like your two step, your waltz, your nightclub, and stuff like that, you got to practice to it. So like the Division 3 and 4, every category you dance. So all 15 heats dance the same song. So I learned how to East Coast swing that year. That way, if I went out for warm ups. My coach, my pro when I was dancing pro-am, if that was my West Coast swing, I scratched. I was not dancing it. I was refusing. I purposely learned how to East Coast swing to not dance to that song.
I think when I competed at Ballroom, every cha-cha final that I ever got to, we always danced to Love Potion number 9, and I hate that song as well. I was like, no, it's awful.
Well, there is lots of variety in the UCWDC now. They use more songs. You don't get the heads up. You get a beat per minute range. But back then, no. You got, like, if you went out for Division 3 or Division 4 couples, and it was you got a song, everybody that was dancing that session danced the same West Coast swing. So back then, Redneck Woman was a popular two-step. So Redneck Woman was used a lot for Division 4 and Division 3, or like newcomer and novice in the Pro-Am. So every newcomer dancer, all whatever 70 heats of a two-step for that session, because there was that many people, would, oh, well, now that I got you sarcasm, yeah. Back then, no. So we'd hear 90 seconds of Redneck Woman 70 times in a row.
Yeah, I can sympathize.
Yeah. Vanda did ask me, she goes, I have a question for Kelly. Is country more popular in the USA than, say, funky or modern? It depends. At events, no. At bars and, like, dancing away from events, yes. Because line dancing is still popular in, like, country bars. We still have tons of them all over the United States. So in that aspect, yes, in some areas of the country, but event-wise, 50-50, because it's just all depends on who wrote it and what comes out. Like if you went to a normal event, I would say no, the country songs aren't more popular, except for if it's written by like Shane, Fred, Rachel, stuff like that. They'll dance to anything by them. They would. Revolution. I thought for sure when I heard Revolution, I'm like, I loved it when he got an entire packed ballroom at a major event to polka. It was great. I loved every minute of it. Every minute of it.
Yeah, we absolutely love Revolution. And it's a dance that travels, so it's quite a dangerous dance actually if you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with those opening two PK turns, you're like poo poo.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. That's why when he did it, I was like, straight up, I thought competition right off the bat. I'm like, that's going to make a great comp dance. I really hope this sticks on the social floor. And it's still danced all over the place. It was done at the Classic, I think, every night. It's a great dance, but it was one of those dances when it was released. I was like, oh, this could be good. You don't see polkas. Like it's
you
dances,
don't see many of them.
Right. Not in the social world, which is great. I love it. Absolutely love it. Because I still do. I love my country bar. I love going to the country bar. I love my country music. Absolutely love my country music. But yeah, country bars are still big here. Like y'all have your classes and your clubs. We have our bars.
Paul Linda James says that his Room 101 song would be The Beast, which I think is by Ethan. It's
something in the water by the Cheap Sheets.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Ethan Allen's old band. Yep, the Cheap Seats.
Yes.
Yep. But yeah, no, that's just one of those. Yeah, I definitely that would definitely be my Room 101 song. Then would be "Sexy Stir Fry." Come on over. We got tons of places. Florida has a great one. We have in our area alone, we have 3 or 4 you can go to in Orlando. There's 2 or 3 down in Fort Lauderdale. In that area, as you go north, that's just in our state alone.
Bye,
Caleb, make it sound. No, it's just we have the spaces like that to dance. Kelly wants to know, the other Kelly, what do you love most about being an LDR DJ?
I love the interaction. I very rarely these days, because I'm juggling so many different things, do I just get a chance to just listen to music. So kind of the shows are an opportunity to do that, have some quiet time where it's just the most simplest thing. You sat in a room on your own, talking to people and just playing music. And the fact that they're enjoying it is even better.
Yeah.
For me, I only started line dancing in 2005. So I've only got a history from a certain point, and I also only know what, for example, my local instructor or at the time taught me. So kind of I like the fact that when I'm planning for my shows, I kind of try and create a lot of a diverse show that might start at the 90s and go up to modern days. I like to have kind of light and shade throughout it, so that there's kind of new, there's well-known, there's unknown, there's curious ones from different countries that no one would have heard of. And I just like all that research. I'm kind of quite a dance geek nerd, and I'm kind of like, oh my God, you're not going to believe the tracks are found for Wednesday or Sunday, for example. So I think I love that. I think in lockdown, the most thing I've been impressed about it, and I've never been more proud of to be a line dancer, is just the whole sense of community. Right. And whereas when Line Dancer magazine was no more, it kind of felt, because with that there was the online presence. They had the message boards that were rife. They were really busy, and then unfortunately with social media and just things, it's just kind of just dissipated, and no one really uses that avenue anymore. So I felt that the community kind of disappeared, and with the radio, I think it's really brought people back together at the most simplest form, because you're just concentrating on the sound and the voice. You're not concentrating on watching things or what they're doing. So it just brings it right back to basics.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's the smallest little thing, and I just get so much from it. And it's both ways. I know that it means a lot to some of the listeners. We have had some lovely comments from people that we are their company, we are their bubble, because they're isolated. So never more than any time like now is it so important to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, I'm quite wordy.
I remember. I still remember the first time when we did the first LER After Dark, because I think you were in the comments with me when all the helicopters over there, everyone kept commenting they had police choppers hovering above their house.
That's quite a normal thing in England. It's quite normal.
So, last week I did a show called "If You Could Choose One." Okay, and I did kind of like how you can always, you know how you always see the posts of if you can only have like take one food to a desert island, what would it be? If you can only have like one thing. Well, I did it relating to dance. I said if you can only do like one cha-cha for the rest of the time, what would it be? Or one Fred Whitehouse dance.
Okay.
If you could only listen to one 90s/2000s pop artist for the rest of the time, who would it be?
Easy. It's Mariah Carey.
I'm like, because I always see all your posts about Britney, about Steps, I'm like, I'm curious which one of that be.
Yeah,
obviously we know it's Mariah Carey.
Since 95, and yeah, I couldn't be without her. So
there you have it. So I want to ask this question early on, and I ask it to everybody.
Okay.
So I didn't prep you for it. So we're gonna test to see if you paid attention to getting asked already. If money was no object, where would you hold a dance event? And who are the first 5 instructors you're bringing?
Okay, I haven't gone to an event abroad or outside of the UK yet. So I would probably want to have an event I'd like to go to Florida or the Line Dance Marathon, one of those types of venues. Now let me think. Choreographer wise, there's some people that their choreography just sits really, really well with me, and my body just naturally understands exactly where they're going. I would have to take Kim Ray. She's my local instructor, and she's been an avid support since day one. But her, again, because I've gone to a lot of her classes since 2005, a lot of workshops, my body is used to her choreography, so it just knows where it goes, and it just feels really organic. So I'd have to take her. For thinking outside the box, because they are exceptional at both funky and smooth, I would have to have Roy and Fiona.
Okay.
So they count as 2. That's 2 there. Third, I would have to have Rhea Voss, because in my eyes, she's the queen of nightclubs and rolling counts. And fourth, I would definitely have to have Niels, because I think male-wise, he's the strongest in my eyes for both, again, nightclubs and then also for funky. And then completely, number 5. Who would number 5 be? I would say, purely because I've loved one of their dances, one of my all-time favourites, would be Bracken Ellis.
Ah, okay.
Because Under Your Spell is one of my all-time favourite dances. I really like some of her choreography, like Hand Clap, Aspire, Born to Be Alive. She's rated some crackers in my eyes and just not had the recognition that she probably deserves.
Awesome. By the way, Paul says he was hoping you'd say Billy Piper.
For music, all right, okay, Paul, here's a little bit of a, not many people know this. I actually auditioned for her pop video of Something Deep Inside, which was off the Walk of Life video album, sorry. But they went all with girls in the end. They didn't go with any male dancers whatsoever, which is a bit of a shame. But she signed all of my day and night CD singles and cassette singles, because that's how old I am. We had cassette singles.
Oh man. So what has been your
but venue wise, I'd probably, if it was going to be England, it'd be an arena. Let's do something crazy like the O2 Arena, open air or something like that, and just fill it with dancers.
That would be definitely huge. That would be definitely huge. The question is, will they have the hotel space to hold everybody around it though?
There's lots on the docks actually, because I went across on cable cars when I stayed to see Mariah Carey's Christmas tour.
Of course you did. So I know you've taught a lot of dances on Streamline. What's been your favorite workshop you've done?
I think when something moves you so much to tears when you're teaching, then you know something special. And I think it has to be She Used to Be Mine, which was what is a waltz by Caroline Pillar and Rachel McElhaney White.
Great dance.
I stumbled across the track when I was prepping for the shows, because I took a slight break from line dance and through about 2014 onwards. So I missed the dance. I didn't know that it was out because I wasn't on the scene then. So I played the track when I was prepping a show, and I was like, this is exceptional. And I said, I have to teach this. So I actually said live on air when I was playing it out, and somebody said, oh, you must teach this. I was like, oh yeah, I'll teach this on Monday. And then I didn't realize how hard the dance was until I saw it. And it literally pushed me right out of my comfort zone, because there's some really interesting choreography with there's a développé, there's some lines that I'm not used to doing with my body as a dancer. And I was like, this is wow. And on the Sunday, I had Nick and Trisha and my housemate Lou all in here, and they were standing at where 1:30, 4:30, 7:30 was, because I just couldn't get my head around all of this trying to read the script. So the teach went really well. And during the last run through, where I wasn't doing any of the call outs or anything like that, it just literally moved me to tears. I was just like, this is absolutely stunning. I got goosebumps on the back of my neck. It just stood on the end. And yeah, that was my most favorite.
Awesome. Nick just said, I treat Michael to a meet and greet with Mariah and I stay home.
He did. He was like, I was like, well, you can join me on the front row. And he was like, no, I'd rather not. I was just
Paul said that's my favorite song from a waltz. It's a gorgeous dance. And Paul, actually, I was thinking of it. So I think it was yesterday on the show or the day before. I think it was yesterday. We're talking how I would like to see Paul, Shane, and Fred, because all three used to compete. I've never seen Fred compete. I saw videos of Paul and I've seen videos of Shane. Have them all, give them a dance, give them a couple dances, and watch the three of them throw down. Just light up the whole place. Okay, we were talking about this on the show, and someone said I should pick dances that none of them choreographed. That way, it gives no one has an unfair advantage. Because originally,
yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, I can't include Unstudy in that, because Fred used to perform a whole showpiece with that line dance. So I figured out my nightclub that I would love to see the three of you boys do, and I want to see you guys do like Guyton's Angel to Hinder's Lips of an Angel.
I love that dance.
I absolutely love it. And now that you talked about amazing songs, watching Shane, Fred, and Paul dance to that would be absolutely amazing. That probably is my favorite nightclub ever. Yeah,
I know if you caught my end of year review, which I did an end of year review show on Sunday, my top nightclub of 2020, my number one went to actually Paul James with his Hometown Heart. That was my ultimate favorite, and I did teach it on Streamline as well, because it was just absolutely gorgeous.
Paul just reminded me that Paul did compete with Hinder's Angel, of course. Can't find trying to find a track for you three would be hard. But yeah, that's definitely.
What about something like Last Man Standing by June Lady in Black?
Ooh, going old school. Ooh.
It's directionally challenging all over the walls, and there's a bit of a beast of restarts.
Paul said it was his first year back in 06 after ages taking time off competing. Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun. That old, I love it. I did a whole show the other day, and I was talking about this. I did all old school ones from the U.S., all old school songs like Chili Cha Cha. I did Wild Wild West. I did Slow Burn. We did Half Fun Go Mad. All those old classics you saw from like A.T. Kenson, Max Perry, some were co-choreographed with like with Tom Mickers and stuff like that. And I had someone, I was hysterically, I was about 3/4 way through the show, and someone said, you've played about 15, 18 songs so far, and I don't know any of these dances. I was like, she hadn't even ever heard of them. Like, she never heard them play. I was like, oh. I'm like, man, those are some good, like, the classics, like Yes You Won't. Oh, yeah.
But regionally, there's things that you guys are classics and you're over there that we just don't dance over here.
Yeah, I noticed that some of the older ones are hit or miss.
Because whereas we would only dance, I don't know, Poetry in Motion to the actual track by Liberty X, in the US, you dance it to Hotel California, which is completely different.
Yes.
And,
yeah,
I've seen both. I've seen it dance to both, and I absolutely like it to both. But over here, it would be a travesty, I guess. It would be a riot, especially if Debbie Morgan was present, because she thinks that's like like sacrilege messing with that track.
Yeah. Chris asks, will you have your day job to go back to after this pandemic is sorted out?
So I am currently interviewing for roles, but just like everybody, there's not a lot out there because of the pandemic. So I think I'm up to about at least close to 300 plus applications for roles. But every time you think they've opened things and they think the offices are starting to return, then they're being closed again.
Turn around and close everything down.
Yeah. So I've kind of got into the end stages of potential role, but I'm still waiting for the final next bit to pass on that. Some requirements before that could potentially lead to something.
Awesome.
But thank you.
Any new choreography in the works coming out?
Actually, there is. I played the track today. It's myself and the Streamliners, and it's a track called Surviving by Bastille. It's a kind of a funky, groovy track. It's an easy intermediate, and we've been doing it over WhatsApp. Everyone sends their 8 counts, and we're only waiting on the last 6 counts, so it's nearly there. Let me see. It's got myself, Grace David, there's Hayley Wheatley, Joe Kinzer, Willie Brown, Esmeralda. I'm trying to think who else is in there. There's quite a few people. But yeah, so that one's coming. And there is still one yet to be released that we taught, that I taught on the Christmas event on Streamline, which is a collaboration that I co-wrote with Kim Ray called Hearts Collide, which is a really gritty track by a guy called Marius Bear that sounds kind of like Rag and Bone Man. Mm-hmm. And that one went down really well, and we're waiting to release that. So
awesome.
That's those two.
Nick said you're just a lady of leisure at the moment.
We don't say leisure, we say leisure. A lady of leisure. Well, I'm the house husband. I do lots of the chores here.
House husband.
I am. I can now cook, so I pretty much do that. I keep on top of all the washing. I'm pooping to scooping. I'm walking the dog. I'm a little bit of a machine. Quiet in the cheap seats. We do divvy it out. We do divvy it out amongst us. But yeah, I've learned to kind of do a lot more things than I would normally do in lockdown. So it's been quite interesting. You too. Shush.
Nanette said, wondering what was your favorite Bracken dance that you were talking about earlier.
Pardon?
What was your favorite Bracken dance?
Oh, Under Your Spell.
Ah, good one. Classic. Love that.
It's a beautiful waltz.
Yes, yeah. It is.
It's and it was a clever dance because it's a 2-wall dance on 4 walls because of the restarts, and that was done before anybody else had done that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 2/4. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous dance. And I taught that on Streamline. I think it was in my first 4 or 5 teachers. And she was amazing. She sent me this gift on Amazon saying I was like awesome, and she was so thankful for teaching me. It was really sweet, and I was like, this lady's in America, and she doesn't know me from Adam, and it's just I love how it unites. The dance unites us all.
Nick said he's waiting for you to start decorating and digging the garden.
I keep on top of the bushes and the grass trimming. I did the last two. Oh dear.
Britt wants to know, how do you manage to co-choreograph with so many choreographers, especially virtually? WhatsApp is our best friend.
It is. So WhatsApp, everybody that is working on the dance is added to the group. And then you've got, there'll naturally be some sort of nerd in the group like myself that will go straight to the track and block out the phrasing, and then work out how many, if it's a phrase, if there's ABs or tags, etc. Mm-hmm. Then we'll say, right, you've got 48 counts, divided by 10 people, you've all got these amount of counts.
Right.
Shoot, who's going to start? Then one person starts, they record their video, they send it on the chat group, and then it just follows on from that, and everyone just adds their bit to the end while they're dancing the video so they can all see it. So far, everyone's been really, that I've done that once previous on I Am Cannibal when there was 14 of them, and that was insane. But it's quite interesting because no one's precious about their steps. They're all open to being molded or slightly changed or suggested. And the experiences I've had so far with them have been that it's been really organic, and it doesn't look like 14 people have choreographed one dance, for example. It looks really like it all just links really well together.
I know when me and Daniel did Worldwide Beautiful, I've adjusted to almost operating my life, most of it on UK or CET time. Like I get up between 6 and 7, which is about your 11 o'clock right now. So I've starting to adjust my body earlier and earlier and earlier. So usually, like, we do it when we used to do the Streamline shows in the afternoon, the ones that were at like 11, 12 o'clock my time, when he did some of the they did some of the stuff. Me and him would just stay on Skype, and we did Worldwide Beautiful straight up over Skype. We just video chatted, and we did it, and we like played around with a song for an hour each, called each other, and luckily both of our ideas melded well together. A lot of it, we had a lot of the same ideas, and I think we had that dance finished in an hour, just under.
I think that was one of the many dances that I managed to learn and then not learn any of them when I was on the 24-hour extreme day, because I was at every workshop.
Yep.
I might be able to party like a 20-year-old, but I recovered like a 70-year-old. I was, for about days afterwards, I was wrecked. I was like, I need sleep.
Chris wants to know, are waltzes your favorite rhythm?
I'm torn because I love smooth dances and I really love funky dances. If I'm truthfully honest, kind of quite twangy, kind of very kind of Texasy country isn't my thing if it's overly twangy. But I do like a lot of the modern country music because it's kind of less, and it takes a modern sensibility on it. People like Kane Brown that I really like, and I can't think of some of them now, but I think smooth wise, my favorite rhythm is rolling count, then it goes nightclub, then it will go waltz, and then a Viennese might go after, and then West Coast swing fifth. But then kind of funky is I just like both, really. I'm a double-edged sword.
Now, see, I have a question. So obviously you saw the challenges I did on the show, where I had multiple people, gave them a song, they had the hour to choreograph.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in coming on for one of those? If I paired you up with someone?
Yeah, of course. I was wetting myself watching Debbie and Tim. That was hilarious.
Okay. In all due respect,
because
Daniel
Debbie
gave me
dances,
the song.
You know?
So when I did the first one with the boys, I did it. I knew the song. I listened to both. I listened to the two options I gave them. I put it up for a vote. Do I give them country or non-country? And I gave them the option, and when they got chose non-country, I knew what to do. And when Daniel gave me the song afterwards, I didn't listen to it. I trusted him. I listened to like the first 30 seconds, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I like it. I like it. I like it. It'd be perfect for Tim and Debbie. Yeah. Then we listened to it more after Tim and Debbie got it, and the phrasing was nuts. Absolutely crazy. So I'll make sure to listen to it before.
That was 80s Baby. And what I thought was hilarious is that I know I've got to know Debbie, and I've got to know a lot of them very well over Streamline because we have this massive WhatsApp group.
Right.
But she doesn't choreograph by actually moving. She just sits down and writes it all down. She doesn't actually dance any of it out. So kind of this way that you were working on that challenge is completely alien to her. And she was like, I don't do this. I normally just, and I was like, how can you sit down and choreograph? You have to move.
Well, in defense, I choreographed an entire dance one time in my car. And believe it or not,
I have heard that.
When I got out, I was on an 8-hour car ride, finished the dance, got out of the car, danced it, and it actually worked. I didn't have to change anything. I was like, huh, that worked.
I have heard that done before. I used to, when Robbie McGowan and Hickey was with us, I once did an event with him, and he was driving me back home, and he mentioned in the car that one of his biggest hits, I can't remember the dance at the time, but he'd wrote with Kate Sala. He said they wrote it in the car on the journey down. They were tapping, one of them was tapping on the actual kind of plastic of the car with their fingers, imagining it was their feet, and that's how they pieced it together. And I was like, that's crazy.
Me and Trevor have been known to do that. I'll be when I lived in Fort Lauderdale and I had to be up. I'd be coming up on a Saturday to go out dancing with him. I had 3 hours. I'd get in the car and I go, okay, I'm on my way. He goes, I need a new song to teach tonight. Any ideas? And we'll send for the first hour and a half the car ride. We'll send out songs back and forth. About halfway through the drive, we agree on one, and then I'll call him. I go, okay, I'll be there in about 90 minutes. We'll work on it. By the time I get there, we both have about half the dance written, and we just move it around, and usually it works. I don't think any dance that we wrote together, like any like Sunshine 365, any of those, we spent more than actually on it, more than like 30 minutes. It just happens as they flow. Kelly wants to know, is there someone you have always wanted to choreograph with that you haven't?
I've only recently started co-choreographing with people. I haven't really done much of it. I think there's been random occasions where it's just happened. I choreographed a dance with Guillaume Richard years ago in 2005, 2006, before he even blew up and people knew who he was. He was like this little thin French nerd with glasses. It was quite funny, actually. And we thought we were so cool and funky, doing kind of popping and things to Timberland. When really it's just Mr. Bean in jeans. I am just doing that. But yeah, so I've kind of done Guillaume, and then just my good friends, Hayley and Leslie, and obviously Nick, we formed at the Spalding Special. And we were nominated with one of our dances for that in 2019. That was quite a good moment. And then just recently, I've obviously co-wrote with Kim Ray, and then before that one, Michelle Risley, which What the Future Holds, our Steps dance, has done very well for us. And so kind of, I wouldn't say there's anybody that I wouldn't want to actually choreograph with. Oh, actually, I've also choreographed with Joe and John Kinzer once, and that was a long time ago. And Mark Fennell, I think it was a baby dance version of one of their dances. But no, there isn't anybody that I wouldn't not like to choreograph with. I think if it works, once you get even with the videos, once you know the kind of the way they work, then it just starts to flow. And the people I've choreographed with recently all work differently. Whereas, for example, Michelle said, she sent me a video which is quite, I could blackmail her with this video. She's like, Michael, this is not for human consumption. No one can see this video. She's got no makeup. She's in a onesie. Yes. I'm not going to blackmail you at all.
I think she's still on here watching.
Yeah. We basically, I blocked out I gave the first 16, and then she then sent me a completed dance, and she goes, now you can change all this, but it's just the way I work. I piece it all together, and then we tear it apart. So that was quite different for me, because I was like, oh my, I feel like really awful, kind of picking at their dance. But it worked really well eventually, and we came back and forth with how it wanted to come, and we made the tweaks. And then, for example, Kim Ray, she recorded her bits. She recorded just 8 counts, sent it on video to me. I recorded my 8 bits. And then she says, oh, can you change your foot on that one? I was like, yeah, let's do that. And then it was just back and forth. Mm-hmm. So it's quite different. Whereas when I've been face to face with me and Nick, or when I've done it with the girls, we've kind of just organically been prattling around and just, prancing around to the track. And then we go, oh my God, that's really good. What did you just do then? So generally when I choreograph now on my own, I set my tripod up with my camera filming me, because I don't know if I can repeat what I've just done again.
Right. And you don't remember it. Like, how did I do that?
Yeah.
You go to do it a second time and it doesn't look nothing like you did the first time. Yep, I've been there. I have totally been there.
Amy says choreograph with Bracken. I'd love to. She's wrote some beautiful dances. So yeah.
That she has. Nick says you're in so much trouble now.
Why am I in trouble now?
I'm assuming for telling the story of Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle. Leslie's put Michelle would look stunning in a bin bag. She did. She did look stunning. See, I don't look like that first thing in the morning. She still looked like 20 times better than me.
Crazy.
But yes, Jamie Wally's like me.
Yeah, I'm sure Jamie's going crazy. No getting to go out. I know I'm ready for a huge, massive dance event.
Well, you had one. You managed to get to and compete at the UDLC.
Yeah, we did have the Florida Classic that was able to happen, thankfully.
Yeah.
And now we've watched every other event lately been canceled, depending on the state they're in. So.
Well, hopefully, kind of in 6 months' time, I would think by mid-year we might hopefully start to see some things trickle back. But the one thing that surprised me is out of this whole lockdown is that we found ways to dance. We might not be in company with people, but people have been thinking outside the box, and we've managed to find ways to make things still happen. It might be a bit odd. It might be a bit peculiar, because as a Crystal Boot nominee, I had video requirements that I had to record and sections of things, which I won't give anything away. And yeah, I felt a complete plonker, kind of mincing past our 40-inch telly in my full refinery, giving a cheesy grin, and off I went, But yeah, we've still made ways for it to happen, and I've been very impressed by that. Yeah, I think it's opened a really interesting concept that, at events, you might not need to have everybody physically there. You could say, for example, if they're across the other side of the world, you could maybe get just 1 or 2 people that could be live projected or streamed or whatever, and you could still take the class.
Yeah, I said that to a bunch of people, like, especially because we've had that capability, and we've done it with bringing people on screen for random, like for random things anyway. Don't be surprised if at events you see 1, maybe 2 choreographers piped in to teach to you your class. If they can't make it there, or they don't feel safe, but they still want to teach, we find ways to do it. And there's been ways. We've done some crazy stuff. We've pulled off some crazy stuff at events. We've done it on screen, and like everyone has said, the one thing I like two huge things about this. One, half the people wouldn't get a chance to experience some of these instructors or choreographers. Some of these people would not get a chance to take classes with you because they don't come to England.
Absolutely, and I'm not a draw. I'm not a name as such. So there are people that have had an opportunity. I've danced with people all over the world now.
But I know, and the other thing is, people that aren't popular, like the me, like some of the other people that's been on Streamline or Retro Dancing and thing, have had the chance to share what they can do with so many people, and I think it's opened some people's eyes. I think it has. I think it's made it where we can see it.
I think it's really exciting at the moment. It's an exciting time to be. Yes, we're not getting to do how we normally would see dance, but I cherish those moments on camera with the structure. And I've got people that are from all over that I don't know from Adam. Right. But they know me now through dance, and they message me, and it's just really lovely to kind of hear that. And I'm very grateful, absolutely grateful for everyone that attends the class and says anything nice about me. You can say horrible things too, because any publicity is good publicity, as they say.
Paul James says you can watch me dance if you want, Kelly. Paul, we still need to finish a dance we started how many years ago? that we sent, I think, 2 videos across to each other and never continued because we both got busy. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Michael. It was a blast getting a chat with you. Guys, don't forget, tomorrow the party continues. I got Mark, Ray, Matt, and Chris. The boys behind Legends Tonight are joining me. That show is bound to be a little crazy. And then don't forget, Friday, that's right, 100th episode is finally going to be here. I'm going to the Guyton compound, 2-hour shows. Boom, my birthday. It's going to be off the chain. It's going to be a crazy time. I know I'm looking forward to it. And then I get to go to Disney for 3 days to celebrate. Doing a little drinking around the world at Epcot. Spending some time in the castle, Star Wars land. It's going to be, I'm looking forward to the weekend. Turning old isn't that bad. But thank you so much for coming on. It was great to get to chat with you, find out more. Guys, hope you enjoy the show. Same time tomorrow. See ya.
Take care, guys. Stay safe. Bye-bye.